Hello everyone and welcome to DBF1. It is season 7. We are here for the penultimate week of the season. We have something a bit different. We're here for the full qualifying for Monza here in week number 9. We have got a 50% race for the first time in 2 seasons. We didn't have one in season 6, but we are here. We've got slotted qualifying for the first time. We've got 17 drivers on the grid. We've got 5 groups to come, a couple of grid penalties as well, mandatory 2-stop. So, in about a minute and a half, the first group will go, and then we're hearing from Casper that'll be dry, which is fantastic. Thank you, Casper. So Group 1 will have to leave the pit lane at between 16:30 and 15 minutes. That is when the first group go, and the first group will consist of Kieran, Cam K-Mam, Jess Games, and Casper. So they'll have one opportunity to set a lap. If they do not complete the lap in that time frame, they'll be given a penalty if they've not exited the garage in that time frame. They have got until the next group begin their laps. So we've got about 10 seconds before cars are eligible to go on the road. And we've got Kieran, Cam K-Mam, Jess Games, and Casper coming up. And then we'll quickly get the stream shared while we're waiting for the guys, and we'll run through the championship order while those guys are on their outlaps as well. But it's been a fairly entertaining season, and we're getting close to crunch time. It's Jenga Boy, it's Casper. Who's going to win the championship? Jess Games obviously still involved in this title scene. She can win the championship still. She needs a big result tonight, though, to be able to achieve that. Just about to get the stream shared now. Yep, that's us, all good. So we've got the minute now, so the teams have to leave the garage within this minute. So Jess, Cam, Kay, Casper and Kieran all need to leave the garage as you see the first car coming out on track now. They've got until that timer strokes the sign of 15. And yeah, it looks like everyone is starting to leave now in the first group. The groups were chosen at random. Obviously, it's just turned out that the top 3 of 4 in the championship fight are out at the same time. So we're just keeping an eye on Casper. Yeah, I think that was Kieran coming out there. And is Casper out as well? So Casper needs to leave or he's in trouble. And Jessica will happy that it is a dry qualifying session. But Kamke will begin the first run of the first ever slotted qualifying that we have in DBF1, and we'll ride with him while he goes round Monza for the first time in his Kick Cyber. 27 laps coming in the race. He's got 28 laps to do. This might be the most important one. He's got a long way to go in this session to find out where he's going to begin, but he's finally underway in qualifying. 7th at the moment. He uses a bit of overtake down the straight all the way up to 340, 3 kph as he gets turned in nicely and gets away on the exit early on the power as well now, and you'll get through the gears up into the hairpin now where Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton had their battle and incident all those years ago where Charles took victory here, and it's looking good. 26-1, that's fairly competitive from the American, the first American driver we've had in a very long time in DBF1. He's been impressive most of the season. He's been best of the rest as he comes through the left and right, and he doesn't invalidate his lap. That's important now. There's only one real opportunity now where he can invalidate. He needs to get through Ascari without invalidating this lap all the way up to 340 kph. Again, it looks clean. Is he going to avoid the white lines? And he does just about, and he's got plenty of battery to play with down the back straight into the Parabolica now for the American. What will it be in comparison to Jessica Ball, one of the championship contenders? Car 24 now, round through Parabolica on the power, using what's left of that overtake battery to his deployment up to the line. It's a 19.6. Jessica Ball, what will her lap time be? She's got a bit less battery, but she goes quickest, 4 tenths ahead. Kieran now coming round the couple of right and left-hander, quick corners now. Kieran not got as much ERS as the other two did at this part of the lap, but Kieran has won 3 out the last 4 Grand Prix. Late joining the league this season, would have been a championship contender, you'd imagine, had he been here for the complete season. Looking to lay down the marker. He is kind of the driver that's keeping Casper and Jenga Boy honest up front, and that is making this title fight even more interesting than it's already been. He'll come round to Parabolica in the Alpine now. He won 1 race last week, he won 2 the week before. What will it be in qualifying tonight? Only second, not quicker than Jess. Casper Klein goes quickest with an 18.1. That is 1.1 ahead of the rest of the field. And that is your Group 1 complete. And the stewards are actually, Casper is under investigation here and could be facing a 3-place grid penalty for not getting out of the garage early enough. So that could be a nightmare. Already a driver caught out in the first laps. The first group, so we'll quickly check our second group. So our second group must leave the pit lane between 12 minutes and 11 minutes. That group will consist of Tony, Bevesser, Chris W and Gamer James. So they should already be really getting out on the track. Chris is safe, Tony's safe, Gamer James is safe, and I think I've seen Bevesser needs to leave within the next 5 seconds. Bevesser's safe as well by 1 second. The McLaren got out there, and that is lucky from the McLaren driver. He got out just in time, and I think it's going to be Gamer James that'll be the first driver in the next group. And here we have a couple of... so Jordan has a 3-place grid penalty. He's in Group 5, so he'll go last of all in the last group, and so wherever he goes, he will be 3 places down. And Casper's blaming the pit crew in the team radio for letting him out too late. And I think Casper is in trouble here of losing that pole position. 1.1 second ahead of the nearest challenger, which is just incredible. But it might all be for naught. Here it is though. Gamer James. Group 2 is about to get underway. The Mercedes driver, what will he be able to do? Can he ruin any one of the title challengers' hopes of securing pole position here? It's looking fairly quick as well compared to Cam K Mam. They matching straight line speed. Everyone will be running 0-1, 0-0 wings around here. Not quite as nice as Cam K Mam's time, turn 1 and 2, but James now will get through the right hand, and it's not quite as neat, but it's looking fairly quickly for James through the first sector. 26.3, only 3 tenths off the second Sauber during the pit lane, during the first sector, sorry. Man that picked up driver of the day a couple of weeks ago in one hub fairly quickly, setting himself as one of the contenders, possibly for the championship. Stressing me out a lot. But it's looking fairly quick here, and he might not be in that top 4 conversation in dive bomb, but he's looking extremely quick for the midfield pack and might just be able to sneak a good lap here and get himself ahead of the likes of Chris and Tony, the drivers he wants to be battling. Got the ERS deployed, he's not got much to play with. What will it be for the Mercedes driver? It's a 20.2, and that is fairly quick for James. I'm impressed with that, but here comes Chris now, the second of the 2 Alpines. He's got a bit more battery to deploy to his name. Chris has been impressive as well. He goes 5th, 20 flat, very quick from Chris. I think Tony is next across the line as we have drivers in the next field coming up. Tony, 20.8. Tony, obviously, we want to congratulate him on the birth of his baby. He's not been here the last few weeks, and obviously the no practice, the sleepless nights, I can completely understand that one. It is Bevesser now. This is someone that might be able to challenge the front row of the grid. Jessica Ball is happy with her lap on the Red Bull team radio. But is it going to be disaster or delight? Bevesser only 5th. He gets into the 19s. So that's the end of Group 2. Bevesser wins that one out. Big gap to Casper. Yeah, Casper saying he didn't realise how long the animation takes, and that will cost him the opportunity. We are here now with Group 3, who had to leave between 9 and 8, and I think we're under 8 seconds now. So there's Hijab was also in that group, so it should be Lewis, Chris, and Darky. Hijab not here tonight, and we wish Hijab the best. So yeah, the 3 that were required to be out are all out. So it's only Casper in danger. And I'm just waiting for something from the steward's commentary box, the steward's room to be released for me. And we can let Baza know what's going on. Is it Darky? Sorry, Chris is on his lap. Getting confused with the McLaren dot. So Chris is underway. Multiple podiums in dive bomb. 5 podiums to his name. Race win in Spain in round 2 of this season. After his teammate was disqualified, he finished second on the road anyway. Extremely quick race around the circuit of Catalunya, Barcelona. 1 race win to his name. He'll be wanting to try and make that 2 when it comes to DBF2. He's obviously the DB2 champion from the first half of this season. As he comes up to the run to Ascari now, he's got loads of battery to his deployment. Chris might have had the best battery deployment throughout his entire lap out of the runners we've had. Will it be enough to challenge the likes of James and Chris? That's what he's aiming for. Chris Johnson wanting to break the 19s if possible, but get into the top 6 if he can out of the people that are in there from the group so far. No one invalidated yet. Everyone's set a clean lap time, and Chris Johnson goes 7th, puts himself in between Chris W and Gamer James. He'll be very happy with that, I would imagine. Darky is the first to invalidate his lap, so he will be last. He will not go any quicker. It's Lewis Craig now. Multiple race wins in DBF1. Multiple pole positions. The most podiums ever in dive bomb. He's 3 away from the 30 podiums. He wants to get that before this season and season 8 comes to fruition. The Aston Martin now. Been fairly quick the last few weeks. It was a poor start to the season for him. The Flying Scotsman, what will it be? It's second row of the grid, it's P3. That is a mighty quick lap from Lewis Craig, and he'll be delighted to beat the likes of Kieran and Cam K Mam there. Fantastic from Lewis Craig. We've got the championship leader out on track. It's Jenga Boy in Group 4. Daniel Pubilna as well, also out. Scottish Goat starting his lap though. Acorn out as well. So that is your Group 4. Deck was originally in Group 2, but then obviously struggles to make qualifying now and then, or the early part, so he is moved into Group 4, and he will make his lap time. So no one in danger now, and it looks like we've only got one more group to go, and everyone else should be okay, and that's a 25.9 for Scottish Gold. That is quicker than the driver that was in 5th place, but he dipped the front left tyre into the gravel. We'll see if that is going to matter much in terms of lap time pace through the second sector. Scottish Gold now on the battery early, using the DRS to his advantage as well. The Haas driver doing well in the constructors. He's been fairly quick this season, picked up a podium in Azerbaijan, and this is a quick lap from Scottish Goat. It's not going to be pole position, but it's going to be fairly quick, and the driver that's been struggling in qualifying for the last few weeks and in races, looking to try and refine his form of the past. He's been one of the best newcomers in recent times. What will it be for JO Mac 10? Round the Parabolica, he'll go with a yellow helmet in the Haas up to the line. It's only 7th quickest, but he's into the 19s. He'll be happy. Jenga Boy next. But it might be Acorn. Yeah, I think Acorn's going to get to the line first. Car 71 on his run up now. Didn't see his split times. We can see his battery's a lot higher compared to Scottish Goat as he comes round the final corner. Now, what can the Red Bull do? They're fighting for the Constructors' Battle P8 into the 19s as well. Now it's the championship leader. All down to him. He's the one of the quickest drivers left on the road. The man that leads the way coming into the penultimate night. It's only 12th. Not quick from Jenga Boy, and you'd think with the advantage he has late in qualifying, as Daniel now up to the line, goes P10 and drops Jenga Boy again. And the final crew come out now. Has the pressure got into Jenga Boy? Has he made a mistake? The fight for the championship might have ended in Monza. We've got Baza, we've got Dark Shadow now out of the pit lane, Jordan as well. Jordan obviously picking up a free place grid penalty by the time this session ends. Yeah, and I've just been told, yeah, Casper didn't make it out in time. Yeah, so he's going to start 4th at best. I can't see anyone getting anywhere near his pole position time anyway. And yeah, Casper going to drop 3 places. The stewards have deemed that he was not out of the garage. He was not in the animation before the 15-minute mark. Kaya on his lap now into turn 1 goes the Williams. What can he do? And he's got a good opportunity. If he can set a decent lap time, he might be on for a good result in this qualifying session. Tony there, Jenga Boy, slowest, second slowest of anyone that set a lap. Darky invalidated. And Kaya has actually invalidated that lap there. Disaster for Kaya, who is quickest round. Baza now, also a former DBF1 race winner back in Spain in season 5. He's quickest through sector 1 according to the timesheets. We're on board now with the legend. It's race 102 of his final ever season. This is it for Baza. One more week to go after tonight. He completed the 100 last week at Austria. Can he get his first ever pole position here at Monza in the Haas? Can he get close to his teammate who's up in 7th place at the moment? Looking fairly quick for the midfield pack, and we'll see where he can mount a challenge over the next few corners. The only driver to race in all 7 seasons of DBF1. Can he steal a pole position? Can he steal a place in the top 10? Can he make Jenga Boy's nightmares become even worse? No, it's a 22-3. Baza struggling for pace now. Jordan is in the grass somewhere. He's going to drop 3 places regardless of what happens. 15th for Jordan, so not a quick lap there. So everyone will retire from the session, so don't worry about this race start. It's going to be pretty chaotic. We'll restart the session. Casper is going to drop to 4th, so it is Jessica Ball and Lewis Craig on the front row, with Kieran in 3rd. You've got Cam K. Bavessa, Scottish Goat, then Acorn, Chris and Daniel in the top 10 with Chris, James, Jenga Boy, Tony in 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th. Baza 15th, Dark Shadow in 17th. And then you'll have Darky in 17th, sorry, and Jordan will drop to the back of the field with his grid penalty. So ignore the first race. It's all about that second race. I will be back when we're about to get going. Well, we're back. We had a bit of a moment trying to get the lobby redone up and get the grid correct, and the Ferraris were having a wee joke around apparently. But we are here. It is round 17 of 19 this season. More points at offer for this race only. You must stop twice. Don't forget to put your setup on. Casper in 4th place. Jenga Boy all the way down in 13th. That is your title battle. Jess only needs to finish ahead of Jenga Boy to keep the title hunt alive until the final week, if I'm not mistaken. And then we're waiting for Baza to give the go-ahead. Red Bull in the constructors, I was asked earlier on in the day to find out what they need to do to be champions. I don't think they can become champions tonight. Yeah, they're 19 points ahead. Yeah, they would have to finish 1 and 2. Yeah, Red Bull are not going to win the constructors tonight. They would need to finish 1 and 2 in the according to ChatGPT to win the constructors tonight. And well, they might do. You never know. That's pretty disrespectful to Jessa. Deck, they're 1st and 8th on the grid, so it is possible, but it'd be very unlikely to get a 1st and 2nd place around here with some of the drivers that we have available. There's only been 1-1-2 all season. That was obviously Spain where the McLarens did it, but the McLaren that finished first, CGH, was disqualified in the end, and that stopped them, so Chris got the win. Just waiting now for Baza to give the go-ahead, and then we'll be ready to go racing here for the penultimate week, week 9 of season 7. How have we come this far? We've obviously had the announcement earlier on in the week that season 8 in the summer will be the final. We've got 2 seasons of DBF2 and Gran Turismo as well before the end, but we're on the grid. We've got 5 red lights. It's Jess Ball versus Lewis Craig off the line. It's lights out and away we go for the DBF1 50th% race this season. Casper's already gotten ahead of Keenan into the first corner. Jess seems to have held on to her lead. There's a Haas off in the background, but it's Jess from Lewis, from Keenan and Casper. Acorn at 3 places, already into 5th place. But here comes Casper now. The man second in the Drivers' Championship, looking to get up the order and get ahead of Jenga Boy over the course of the season, who is up into 11th place. Professor and Scottish Gold battling away. Looks like Professor's got the better of the Scotland man at the moment. James up into 8th place as well. Good start. Chris Johnson is up 2 places as well. Good start from him. We'll get the tyres up on the completion of the first lap, and it's Casper Klein now all over the back of the 3-time DBF1 winner, Kieran, into Ascari, not able to make the move. So it's Jess from Lewis, from Kieran, from Casper, the top 4 already 1.4 ahead, and Casper has got a wonderful run, and without the DRS to assist Kieran, it looks like Casper will already be up into the podium places, and indeed he is. Now can Lewis make the move on Jessica Ball for the lead of the Grand Prix? The top 4 all on the mediums. Here we go now. Lewis has not led a DBF1 race for a long time, and he's looking down the inside of turn 1. He goes very late on the brakes. Jess defends it nice, and she stays ahead. Now Lewis has got to look in his wing mirrors because he's got Casper all over the back of him, but Lewis Craig's still focusing on the car ahead. Actually, it's Kieran that's looking like he's going to make the move. He's alongside Casper and back up into the podium places. The top 4 looking mightily quick. Lewis has been half spun there by Kieran. Kieran got a bit close, and then Lewis now needs to refocus and catch back up to Jess. Stay in the slipstream. Keep in that DRS. That's what gives Lewis the opportunity here of a good top result. He wants his 28th podium of his career in Dive Bomb, and look at the top 4, 1.6 ahead. You've got Bevesser chasing Acorn as well. That's for 5th place, and you'd imagine if Bevesser can get past, he might be able to get the top into the top 4 fight. We'll get the tyres up now, so the top 7 all on the mediums. You've got James, the only soft runner, Tony, Kaya, Baza, Jordan, Chris, who stopped on lap 1. That's one of his stops done, all on the hard compound. Here we go, round 2 now. Everyone is a lot closer than the previous were. Jess is already a sitting duck. They're 3 wide, potentially 4 wide coming into turn number 1. Jess has lost 3 places. Lewis Craig leads in Monza. It's Lewis from Kieran, from Casper. Jess Ball absolutely mauled. She was in first when she began the straight. She's ended up in 4th, and it looks like Kieran looking for a move on Lewis Craig. The 2 Scotsmen battling for the win at the moment, for the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, and it's Lewis Craig leading the way. Kieran, 3 Grand Prix win this season, 3 Grand Prix win in his dive bomb career. Lewis Craig, no wins this season, 6 Grand Prix win to his name in dive bomb. They've got Casper Klein and Jess for company. Bavesser did get past Acorn and is up into top 5, and they have closed that gap now. They're all involved in the DRS. Jenga Boy's battling Darky. Darky's actually past Jenga Boy. Jenga Boy not even in the top 10 yet. He is struggling to make progress, and he's under pressure from Daniel P. Wheelnut coming into the Ascari corner. Daniel thinks better of it. Kaya's gone off after a battle with Tony. He's gone right into the barrier. Jessica Ball now already out of sync with the top 3. She's 8 tenths back. She really needs to hang on if she can. Lewis Craig, it's all about, if you're going to lose the place, do not lose the DRS. You need to hang on to the DRS. Kieran now should take the lead of the Grand Prix going into turn 1. It's all about just Casper sneaking up the inside of Lewis. Casper's got a championship to think about though, and he thinks better of it. Lewis doesn't though. He's all about getting this win. He wants a win to make it a win in every season he's raced in since season 3. His debut season in season 3 is the only season he didn't win a Grand Prix. And he's already on the back of that Alpine. The man that's been playing too much Gran Turismo to probably be competitive. It's been fairly competitive, and he's putting Kieran, the 3-time race winner this season, under all sorts of pressure. And Casper just waiting in the wind for his opportunity. Jess back catching up now. Bavesser and Deck involved. This is a 6-way battle for this lead. Jenga Boy in the pits there, so is Darky. Wonder if that was damage or if it was strategy to get that early stop out the way. Lewis Craig is retaking the lead into the Ascari corner and coming into the Parabolica now. What will that be? It's just non-stop action everywhere you look on the field. There's battling going. Jess is looking to the left of Casper to see if there's any room, but too far back. And now Casper is a lot closer this time round than last time, and you'd imagine Lewis might drop 1, maybe 2 places here. The top 6 are all within a second of each other, and here comes Kieran. And Lewis goes defensive to the right hand side. That blocks off Casper, but doesn't quite block off Kieran. We're on board with the Aston Martin. We're looking over the rear wing, and that kick Sauber's behind him still. He's gone onto the grass though. Will that allow Casper to get down the inside into the chicane? That might be it for Lewis Craig. He might lose out on this battle, but no, he's staying ahead. He's got good straight line speed. Here comes Bavesser down the inside of one of the championship contenders in Jessica Ball, and Bavesser now into the top 4. And have we got a driver here that can compete for the race win? This is going to be a classic. We've got 27 laps, 22 of that 27 to go. And it's Kieran from Lewis Craig, from Casper Klein, that is looking closer to Lewis than Lewis is to Kieran, but Lewis has got so much straight line speed at the moment. That rear wing being open on the Aston is just helping Lewis, but he's had a bad run through Ascari, and that might allow Casper to pounce. Yeah, it is going to into the before we even get to the Parabolica. Casper up into P2 now. He'll be able to force Lewis wide. He might even be able to force Casper wide. He does. Sorry, Kieran wide. He does, and that might allow Lewis to sneak up the inside. And Kieran's gone deep. Maybe a bit of mind games from the Alpine as they go on to the start-finish straight now. Lewis Craig and Kieran, look at the closing distance they've got on Casper. They're going to be 3 wide into the first turn on lap number 6. Who will lead the way? Oh, Lewis is at the back out. Kieran and Casper have made contact, but Vesser's there as well. What a battle this is going to be. They're inside of each other with the lag and the ghosting. It's Casper leading now. Kieran and then Lewis is side by side with Kieran coming into the end of the first sector. Lewis has to settle for the podium, but Vesser in on the action as well, and the 2 Red Bulls are waiting for their moment to bounce in different liveries, which isn't annoying at all. Now, is this where this race changes? Casper goes wide. Casper's off the racetrack. That's definitely a warning picked up for the kick. And the man that leads the championship now, with Jenga Boy down in 17th place, who's completed a stop. But he's already a pit stop behind these drivers. He leads the championship, does Casper. Jess is still in the title hunt. But she really needs at least Kieran to finish ahead of Casper. And if Lewis or Professor can as well, that would be wonderful for her. Here we go now. You can just see the difference in top end speed. The Alpine peels to the right. And I tell you what, if the pit stops don't break up this kind of group of cars, we're going to be doing this all night long. Lewis Craig. Oh, big tongue slapper. And that will allow Professor onto the podium place. Surely, yes, it does. And Lewis will have to refocus and try to get back ahead onto the podium fight there. He needs to try to save some of that battery as well. But no, the tongue slapper just came out of absolutely nowhere. He was almost in the wall. Out of turn 2. Casper is struggling through this second sector. I don't know if those mediums are gone or if he just doesn't have the downforce on the car, which would be understandable. But I'm just struggling out that corner. That's 2 laps in a row now, we've noticed. And maybe the pressure getting to Casper, and been champion multiple times in racing leagues, so you wouldn't imagine that would be an issue for him. But it maybe not felt Kieran being this competitive in a league before. Kieran on pace to be champion if he was here the whole season, and would have pushed Casper to the limits, and Jenga Boy. Casper now, he takes the long line. Kieran does as well. Professor is within a shout of this battle too. Non-stop action. The Red Bulls have spot places. Jessica Ball's in. So there's your first pit stop. Jess Ball in for the undercut. Casper takes the lead back off Kieran on lap number 8. And we have the first of the top 6 in, and that is a legitimate stop for Jess. And it might be Lewis Craig, might be the next one to go. Deck as well, wanting to try getting undercut on the top 3 and not get undercut by Jess. You might actually see the top 5 all box. Someone that's been impressive, and we've not mentioned him this whole race, Chris Johnson, already up into 6th place. He's kind of the best of the rest at the moment, and he's been fairly quick and he's been impressive. Just got to keep going, and we'll have a quick look on the mandatory stops. So everyone from 12th down has completed one of their 2 mandatories. Chris is the only driver that doesn't need to stop again, but because of how early it is in the race, he probably will. Kieran now. You'd imagine that all these cars are going to flood in. Jess has got free air, and the top 5 not teammates with each other, so you'd imagine this will be box to hold position. Yep, Lewis Craig into the pit lane. We will keep an eye on the battle out front just to see if any moves happen. Doesn't look like it. No, so we'll quickly watch Lewis's stop. Off go the medium compound, on go the hards. Or is that the hard? Sorry, is that the softs? Might have been the soft compounded tyre. Kieran though, on the back of Casper. There's someone saying the mic is on mute. Well, it says it's not on mute, so we'll have a quick check. I don't know what my brother's talking about. He said in the chat that the mic's on mute, that's why I've not been paying attention. But I've just listened to the stream and it says I'm talking, I can hear myself. So I'm going to keep going as if you can all hear me, and if you can't, well, sorry about that. But Casper leads the way. On lap 10, we've missed the lap of the Grand Prix. Oh, big lock-up on the front left medium there. And Casper probably going to have to box now with a flat spot on that compounded tyre. Jess got ahead of Professor and Lewis by doing the undercut. And Lewis Craig, we need to check. He's on the hards, yes. So it looks like everyone that's still, no one going for the softs. Lewis has seen that it's not worth it. And Professor now ahead of Jess into the hairpin, and there he goes. Only a second off Kieran, who's getting in all sorts of trouble with Baza and Dark Shadow. And I tell you what, this is a dream come true for Casper. And not a dream come true for Jenga Boy. He's in 13th after the stops. Kieran now gets ahead of Kaya. Professor gets ahead of Baza into a scary corner. Yes, he does. He forces the most experienced driver. Oh, Baza's big into the barriers. There he goes, Baza. Not sure that time penalty was fair. Casper Klein into the pits now. I tell you what, Casper might be okay here for retaining the lead. Staying out, avoiding the traffic. Kieran sets a fastest sector 3. Oh, they're so close. This could be Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in 2021, but they just avoid it. Casper now, he's got cold, hard compound tyres, and Kieran takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Just did everything they could to get that car serviced and back out on track, and they just weren't able to get him out ahead enough to warm up the compounded tyre, and now he's stuck in the dirty air, but Besser's right over them. Lewis Craig's now the driver stuck behind Kaya, and in terms of his hopes of picking up a podium will fall away every moment. He's stuck behind him, but surely now on the back straight with DRS he'll get it. Yeah, Lewis Craig's ahead. Jess Paul, you'd imagine, will be trying to follow soon. Acorn as well. Deck will be wanting to. Yeah, you'd imagine this will be pretty slam dunk. And now the tyres heated up on that Kick Saber. You've got Bevesser going for a win here as well. Oh, and Casper's gone deep. And this could be Bevesser's opportunity now to get into the top 2. The DRS, the battery, the slipstream will help Casper pull away, but it's all about breaking into turn 1. Who's going to be braver? Kieran's moving left and right. He can't really move again. A bit naughty that. We'll see what they can do onto the run to the chicane. Professor, good exit again, but just not got that straight line speed at the moment. Closing and closing and closing. He's moved to the left hand side to try get ahead. He's later on the brakes. Casper, championship in mind, has to yield. And well, he's going to pick up more points than usual because third usually gets 15. He's going to pick up 20 as Jenga Boy picks up a penalty which drops him back to 12. And the championship just falling away from Jenga Boy. He'll be involved in the final week, but he's got a 9-point lead coming into tonight. And he really, really needs Professor and Kieran to stay ahead of Casper here to give him any opportunity. 11 points it stands going into the final week. Casper leads. And that's as it stands. If Casper wins, that's an extra 10 points. 21 points is a big gap to claw in with 2 races to go. Lewis Craig as well, he's 1.4 adrift, and that battle with Kaya has cost him the opportunity at the podium, you'd imagine here, unless the top 3 get in battles where they cost each other time. The top 6 battle has faded slowly into a top 3 battle. The Red Bulls are keeping each other honest, and then Lewis Craig seems to be pulling away from the Red Bulls rather than the Red Bulls getting closer. He's 1.1 Lewis actually. He's almost back in the DRS here. And if he can get back in the DRS, Lewis Craig could be on for a podium, if not a win. This race is not over for the Aston Pit Crew, and it's definitely not over for the two Red Bulls, who are looking like they're going to confirm the Constructors' Championship. Maybe not this week, but definitely next week. It's in their hands as it stands. 5th and 6th is heading in the right direction to do so. So, Kieran, Bavesser, Casper, Lewis, Acorn, Jess. 6 places, 5 constructors. And I tell you what, I've got no idea who's going to win this Grand Prix. We're just about to cross the line to be half race distance now. One of the 2 mandatory stops have been completed, and Lewis Craig is well and truly back in this battle. He's within 1 second and has the pace. He's saving that battery as well. He's catching while saving the ERS. Impressive from the Scotsman, but can he overtake the Finnish driver or the other Scottish driver in Kieran, or get past Professor? No one making moves that time round. I think that's the first time we've said that, as Jordan and James swap places further back. Jenga Boy now into the top 10. And every point he can gain to keep this gap from extending would be massive. So it's a 9-point lead. Casper's 20 makes it 11 in Casper's favour. Then you count the points that Jenga Boy will receive for 10th place, and you're closing that gap again. So as it stands, Casper would go into the penultimate week with a 4-point lead. We've just done the quick math. As it stands, it would be 4 points, the deficit, going into the penultimate week of the season. Jessica Ball would be involved as well, but she would need an absolute miracle. She really kind of needs to be on the podium to really have an opportunity here, and Casper not be on it, which is fairly difficult to do. And you'd imagine at the moment, as Jenga Boy completes his second stop along with Scottish Goat, you'd imagine at the moment Deck is the quicker driver, but come the end of this race, you'd assume the Red Bulls will swap places. It's just kind of natural, especially if Chris is closing in on them though, so is Daniel. As long as there's a gap, you'd imagine the Red Bulls will swap. Casper now on the back of Bavesser. This is the closest it's been over the last 2 or 3 laps. Audi kick versus the McLaren, and the McLaren hanging on. Lewis is there, and yeah, you've seen them swap there. They've noticed that Chris is closing in, and it was better to do it there and then. I don't think Jess would have been able to close up 7 times on the straight. So I think that's synchronised swimming from the Red Bull crew. Just logical, and they're going to win the constructors, you'd imagine, and they're fairly evenly paced, and Deck is a good teammate. Here we go now, into second place Casper Klein goes. Can he change second into first? No, but he's got to be careful, because Bavesser will not give us up without a fight on those mediums as well. Goes a bit deep. Can Lewis get some good traction? Not as good as Bavesser, so even with a wobble, mediums got him away well. And that is Jessica Ball in for her second stop. And that is a second set of hard compound tyres. So she's going to the end and is hoping there's no safety cars, and hoping this undercut will do her some wonders. No penalties inside the top 10. Jess as well. No penalty to her name. Jenga Boy trying to crack that top 10 again. And then Bavesser and Lewis have dropped off massively here. I don't know if they've had a bit more of a moment, but they're almost 2 seconds adrift now. And then you'd imagine with Jess boxing, you'd probably want to stop now, get fresh rubber on, and try undercut the top 2, because you're losing the distance to them. And this is not what Jenga Boy needs for his hopes of a championship. He needs at least one of these two to be involved in this hunt. Is anyone boxing? Professor is on the mediums. That frees up Lewis Craig. Casper with a fastest lap of the Grand Prix on about 8 lap old hard compounded tyres is very impressive, and that might just set Kieran to be a bit nervous about what's going on behind, and Lewis Craig at 2.5 behind the top two, and he clawed the gap in when it was 1.6. I think 2.7 might be too big of an ask. Tell you what, Jenga Boy completed 2 of his stops. He's now only 2.2 seconds behind Jessica Ball. And then when you put in consideration where she was, he's got a good chance here, Jenga Boy, of getting a top 8 finish, which is really, really what he needs. Lewis Craig now dropping away from the top 2. Lewis definitely needs to box. His battle is now for that final place in the podium. Bavessa and Jess have stopped. 7 seconds that gap between Bavessa and Jess as well. Jess maybe ran into some traffic. Top 2 stay out. Yeah, Lewis comes in. Smart decision, in my opinion. Whereas Bavessa, at the moment, he's coming down the back straight. His 17th lap about to begin his 18th. Only one retirement from the session, which was Chris W. Bavessa now has the advantage of the slipstream of the DRS. He'll get ahead of Lewis Craig and ahead of Jordan, which would give him 2 cars in between him and Lewis for the net podium. And Lewis now on the fresher rubber, get past Tony, and then Jordan should be move out your way too. You're on for a podium place. Lewis Craig is all about battling Bavessa and getting one step closer to that 30. He's already ahead of Tony, and now the battle is on. The lead battle is away, and the battle for the podium is on as well. Can't Jess Ball get herself involved? And she's got her title rival, Jenga Boy, closing in on her. 1.4 between her and Jenga Boy. Jenga Boy with a penalty needs to be 3.1 ahead of Jess. He can eliminate Jess from contention. Jess must finish ahead of Jenga Boy to get this to go to the final, with Lewis ahead of Jordan now as well. Yeah, Jessica Ball must be ahead of Jenga Boy come the classification of this race, or she is eliminated from the championship. And I think she understands that the task at hand is very difficult to complete, but I think she would like it to be in the final week championship battle once again, like she did in TGP2 all the way back in season 37, where she won the championship. The W1 driver looking for a good result here and needs to finish ahead. Kieran locking up again. He's got Casper all over his engine cover. But still behind. And you'd imagine if they don't box, this surely is the time to make the move. So close, but he has to lift off because there's just no room to make the overtake there at that corner. It's just too tight and narrow. I know, there's plenty of space to make the move here. Here we go for Casper. Oh, mind games, he's lifting off. Mind games between Casper and Kieran. Lewis Craig right in the back of Bavessa as well. We're watching that one, we're keeping an eye on it. The amount of smoke that comes off that Alpine's tyres when he boxes and brakes is insane. Every heavy braking zone, and Lewis might not need a heavy braking zone to make this move. He is caught up to Bavessa incredibly. Lewis has got almost double the battery of Bavessa as well, and that is him up into the podium places. And at the moment, with 8 laps to go, that would be podium 28. Needs to stay ahead of Bavessa now. You've got the Red Bulls. And Jenga Boy battling away. You've got Acorn trying to get ahead of Jenga Boy, which Jess needs for her title hopes, and he does get ahead. Jenga Boy trying to eliminate Jess from contention. He's trying to stay as close to Casper as humanly possible. Deck moves to the left, which was legal, but maybe not appreciated by Jenga Boy, but Jenga Boy stays ahead. And it's back on Jess. Red Bull really need Deck to be in between Jess and Jenga Boy. Even with the penalty, it would just be great. Deck is wonderful at defending, as you've seen there, but he's just trying to get ahead now. The top two battling away for position on lap 21. We've got 7 laps to go, and Casper leads the way. 30 points going in the swing of Casper Klein at the moment. Lewis Craig's already dropped Bevesser by 1 second on that lap. So Casper currently sitting on 265 points. We're doing some quick maths here. Jenga Boy's ahead now of Jess. Oh, but there's big contact with Deck. And now Jess gets the head as well of Deck. Big contact, might be one for the stewards later on. We'll have to wait and see. There's damage on the Red Bull of Acorn. Kieran now trying to get back ahead of Casper. He might be able to do so as they come round to Parabolica again. Casper Klein, the top two, into the pit lane. Can't see Lewis Craig getting out ahead. Oh, and it looked close. I think that was lag, really. And that should be soft to the end for both. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Lewis Craig and Bevesser ahead of Lewis Craig into turn 1. The two guys in the hard compound lead the way of this Grand Prix. 6 laps to go. Surely the top two are on the softs. Keenan on the medium, Casper on the softs. Will the softs go the 6 laps? Will they be able to get ahead? Lewis really needs to get past Bevesser now. This has thrown a spanner into the works. This Italian Grand Prix has been non-stop action. It looked like the top 6 could win. The top 4 could still win here. We have got 4.5 laps to go, folks. And absolutely anything can happen. Lewis Craig now on lap 22. If you told him he could make a move for the lead, you'd be calling him crazy. But it's all about Keenan and Casper. They're battling away and Casper hangs on. They're so close. You don't know who to watch in the battle here. Jenga Boy's picked up another set of penalties. Oh, and Kieran now, and Lewis looking to make moves. It looks like Lewis is going to take the lead going on to the start-finish tape, but that might be the worst position. He could do a Jess and drop all the way down to 4th place. He's a sitting duck. Bevesser moves to the left. Casper's got to go to the left as well. In terms of Jenga Boy and Jess's title hopes, they need Casper to be the back of this train, and he can't get ahead, and now Kieran has got the traction on Casper and might be onto the podium. Casper might not even get on the podium here in a 50% race that you would imagine would suit Casper to a T, and he's hanging on at the moment. Here comes Kieran, not able to make the move. Bevesser leads, trying to take his maiden win in DBF1. Lewis Craig trying to take his first win of the season and go to 7 race victories. Casper Klein trying to extend his championship lead that he has now during this Grand Prix. And Kieran is looking to ruin Casper's party this season. Casper now on the softs is so quick. You've got a Ferrari in the way. He's ahead of Lewis now. He goes round the outside of Bevesser and he has to slow the car down. And now Lewis is so quick off Ascari. Lewis is going to be in there. Keenan, they're 3 wide coming into the Parabolica. They're 4 wide going into the Parabolica. Keenan leads after being 4th. Lewis Craig goes wide. Casper's in 3rd. This is absolute bedlam here in Monza. It's Keenan that leads the way from Bavesser, but you'd imagine that's going to swap. Lewis Craig, can he get ahead? They're 3 wide into the beginning. It's Bavesser from Keenan, from Casper. Lewis is looking to take advantage of any mistakes made. And the Ferrari is just getting a full-time view here. Lewis really I know his tyres are gone, but he really needs to hang on to the DRS. He's got a wonderful opportunity. We've got 4 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. And anyone of the top 4 can win. We've got 2 guys on 10 plus lap hold hards. We've got Casper on the soft compound that might not make it to the end, that have the best of grip. Keenan is on the mediums, probably the best tyre at the moment, but Casper leads the way. Now you've got Bavesser. Keenan needs to get past Bavesser and Lewis. Casper leads, and that's 30 points coming his way, and I believe he has the fastest lap. No, Lewis Craig has the fastest lap. This is absolutely crazy. Casper now 8 times, 7 times. Those softs might just allow him to win this Grand Prix, but how long will they last? Will they fade away? We're on board with Keenan. He's got Lewis to watch out for in the wing mirrors. He's looking ahead. Can he get past Bavesser into turn number 1? Can he mount a challenge? He does get ahead. And I think Keenan is your best opportunity now at getting past Casper. 7.5 tenths that gap. 3 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, here in Monza. And the 50% race, it never fails to amaze us. We had that battle of Lewis Craig and CJH 2 seasons ago. And we've been treated to 27 laps of absolute classic race car driving. Casper off the road again, and that might have picked up a warning for him, and he's off the road again is Casper, off the white lines, surely one away from a penalty, unless the game's been lenient, but it looked off the road to us. How have none of the top 4 got penalties? How is Jenga Boy 5th, by the way? What a drive this has been. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. He really needs to find that 1.5 on Jess to eliminate her from championship contention. I believe this battle is going from 4 to 2 out in front. Keenan and Casper now. They're going to start the penultimate lap of the Italian Grand Prix. It's round 17, folks. We're in crunch time. This is where champions are made, and Keenan is doing his absolute best to make it 4 wins from 7 TBF1 Grand Prix starts. And he leads the way with 1 and a bit laps to go. Casper in 2nd, Bavesser 3rd, Lewis Craig 4th, top 4 all within 1 second, and Casper now retakes the lead on those soft compounded tyres. They're still giving him the most grip. Casper really struggling again through that section of corners, and I hope we don't get any DRS chicken or any incidences of drivers trying to slow down for each other to pick up the DRS for the last time, because when we begin the last tour it's going to be absolute craziness. We've got 1, maybe 2 or 3 more times that will have overtaking opportunities, and this might be it. Lewis Craig looking for a podium at least here. Whoever finishes 4th is going to be extremely disappointed in themselves, but they've got nothing to be ashamed about. This has been a classic. It's 1 to go in Monza in Italy. 1 lap to go, the 50% Grand Prix. We've barely watched anyone outside of the top 6, and I apologise for that, but here comes Keenan now into turn 1. Is late on the brakes. He forces Casper wide and gets up into the lead. It didn't look like too much of a crazy dive bomb, but Keenan leads the way. Might be investigated later, we hope not. It looked clean. It looked like he just pushed Casper a wee bit wide. It didn't look like there was any contact though. Casper has to think about his championship when it comes to making an overtake or getting overtaken. Lewis Craig's dropped 1.1 back. It looks like he's out of this battle for the podium here. Professor trying his best to get involved in the top two battle. There's a car off in the background. I think that's someone further down. Casper, very slow at the moment through that right-hander. But he's picking up the speed now. He's got the DRS. Professor in the McLaren closing and closing. One more chance maybe for anyone to make a move and stake their claim for a win or a podium place. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We have got about 15 seconds left of this Grand Prix. Kieran at the moment has the advantage. Can Casper steal the win on the final lap? He makes contact on the back of the Alpine, but it's going to be Kieran that wins this absolute classic in Monza. Casper in second, Professor third, Lewis Craig in fourth place. Jenga Boy looks like it's going to be fifth, but probably sixth place. Can Jess keep her title hopes alive here with the crossing the line? She does. Acorn gets a hit. No, he doesn't get a hit. He had a penalty himself. Cam came 7th, Acorn 8th. Chris Johnson, when he crosses the line, will be 10th. Jordan is going to cross the line in P10. Daniel, when he eventually gets there, will cross the line 11th. Tony in 12th. James 13th. Scottish Goat coming round for 14th place. 15th for Kaya, and yeah, look at the gap between the top three. 1.2 off the win for Lewis, and he came 4th. Devastating for him. What a Grand Prix that was, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope nothing goes to the stewards, because that was an absolute classic, and I don't want anything to be ruined by it. I'm going to try and do the maths before we go. So Casper's on 234 and picks up 25 points, which is 259. And then Jenga Boy is on 243. So they got up 16 points before the result for Jenga. So we'll quickly run through as you see this podium celebrations. Kieran, what a start to his career. 4 wins in 7 races, ladies and gentlemen. Just what a driver. He's been such a breath of fresh air, and he's truly able to challenge Casper for wins, and it's not as easy as it looks to be on the top step of the podium, but Kieran is surely getting used to that feeling, and enjoy it while it's there, because the days do not last forever, and I can count for that. But that has been your Grand Prix, and I will quickly do the maths here to figure out, because Jenga Boy came 6th place. It's a 4-point gap, folks. Barring any stewards acquiring, and then barring any other decisions that happen later on, at the moment, going into the final week of the season, we have got 2 races, 2 25% races until season 7 ends, and then we have a bit of a break. 2 races. We've got Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi to decide the championship, and at the moment, it is a 4-point swing in Casper Klein's favour. Absolutely incredible. We hope you all enjoyed it, and we hope you watched that back. And hopefully my commentating over that was good, because it felt like I was just screaming for most of it. But I've been Jack Craig 28, and we'll see you next week for the championship decider.